Hey, so I watched Black Adam
Oh,
and I did not want to watch Black Adam and weirdly loved it.
really?
Yeah.
Is it because of The Rock? Are you a big fan of The Rock now?
No, I'm not a big fan of The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson.
No, and I thought like this looks so stupid. Like the previews I thought looked so dumb, but I really felt like it was like a good, exciting DC movie. I couldn't believe it.
It really did. I got to be honest. You hit the nail on the head on that. It looked
Yeah.
really dumb.
Right.
It
It did.
looked dumb.
I know.
And I don't know if that's like when I saw Pierce Brosnan's in it as like one of like the god hero guys, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
So
Like,
good though.
is
He's
he
so
really?
good. Yes, and I've heard like mostly bad things from people that I know who watch this. But I hated Shazam. I hated the Shazam movie. But it's
Yeah, that was
really
tough.
it much more like sells it like Aquaman did. You know, like Aquaman when they announced that, it was like this is nonsense. This will never work, and then it did. I feel like Black Adam
Yeah.
is in that same arena, you know, because it's fun. I thought like Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was good. I really liked Aldous Hodge's Hawkman. You know, you had
Yeah.
Cyclone, you had Atom Smasher, some other cool DC cameos in there that I'm not going to give away, but that surprised me. And yeah, I just thought it was a really effective, very relentless, just like fight after fight, color and explosions.
Yeah.
But it really worked for me.
Little
Weirdly enough.
silliness in there.
Yeah, some silliness. Did you see it?
Yeah. I didn't, but
Okay.
it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine about it at work that were like, you know, they're making all these Marvel and DC movies, well, at least not DC really, but Marvel movies too silly. They're too campy, too jokey. It's hard to tell when you need like, oh, is this a serious scene or is it a joke? Or
Yeah.
like it'll be a serious scene and then they'll drop some stupid lame joke and you're like, ugh, that just like ruin the intensity of that scene.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like it works for the kind of B and C list character movies,
Yeah.
right? To kind of make them funny, lighthearted, and entertaining. But like,
Mhm.
you know, I feel like they've ruined Thor. Like Thor
Mhm.
Ragnarok was like it was not serious, and
Right.
that's why it kind of good. You know, it was like, all right, that wasn't that bad. But then Love and Thunder is like, oh my gosh, man, like
Okay.
everything is a joke, and it's just like I wanted a decent Thor movie, and his character is now just a moron. It's just he's the butt of his own jokes, and it's like,
Yeah.
all right,
You're
come
you're
on.
not you're not wrong, but I am in the minority here where I actually really did like Love and Thunder, and I think because like after Ragnarok, I was kind of just whatever about Thor. Like I just was like, all right, I guess he's goofy
Well,
now, and so that's another one I went in with like zero expectations, and
yeah,
like,
yeah, I had zero expectations.
well, I was talking to my friend Eric, Radio Meanwhile Overlord Eric Mickles, and we were just discussing how in the early days, the Marvel movies, you know, Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and Incredible Hulk and things like that, really were like, we have something to prove. We got to be out there. We have to like show
Yeah.
you the cool things we can do. Whereas like Marvel productions now are so slick and they're just like, yeah, it's a Marvel movie. Here you go. Here it is. You know,
It feels like they're biding their time though. Like
it's
something, you know,
yeah,
like when are we gonna get a good movie? They keep like everything feels like a filler movie, and it's just like Thor: Love and Thunder was not supposed to be filler. It was supposed to be the next phase, and it
the
doesn't
next
feel
wave.
like it.
You know, you're right. But I
Yeah.
think to Eric's point, what he's saying was like early Marvel movies really had to try to prove something. And now the DC movies have the stuff to prove. And so,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's
maybe
true.
that's why Black Adam was just like as intense as it was. But I'd be interested to hear what you think about it.
Okay, I'll have to watch it. Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. I put it on and my wife was like, oh no, what is this? And she thought I put on Morbius, which I still haven't seen.
Oh, I still
And
haven't seen that either. I'm afraid.
when it came up as Black Adam, she was like, "Oh no, this is worse." So she didn't want to watch it at all, and she was right with me. Like by the end of the movie, we were like, "Okay, all right, The Rock,
All right.
that was a fun
He's a good
movie.
actor. He
Let's
really
bring on
is.
more." Yeah,
I think so for Thor: Love and Thunder, I think the two best things to come out of that movie was I think you said it first. You said the music was really good. You had
love
seen
the
it.
music.
The
Yeah,
music was really good for that, and that troubles me because like the movie is so bad that I was like, man, this music's actually really good.
disagree.
Like
But
like
the soundtrack is really cool. I bought the
soundtrack's
soundtrack
great,
the
yeah.
next day. So
So I thought the best aspect of that movie was that jealous relationship between
Oh yeah,
Thunder,
Mjolnir. Yeah.
Mjolnir, and what's the
The axe.
thunder?
I can't remember what
Yeah,
it's called. Yeah,
yeah,
Stormbreaker.
the
Yeah.
Stormbreaker. Yeah, when every time, oh man, that like when it like comes in out of
Yeah.
frame,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like way to make a character out of a tool, and I
I
just
know.
thought that was so great.
I do
Like
too.
that killed
I
me.
do too.
That I thought was funny. I don't know. Maybe is Black Adam that great, or is it just the Marvel movies are so bad that Black Adam seems good?
Well,
Like,
I don't know that I would say it's that great, but it feels to me like an old school superhero movie that's just like a fun time. And I actually think it
good.
did kind of tackle some serious issues. Like there was sort of the question of colonialism when there was like an invading force in this country and like the role
Right.
that Adam was playing in that. I felt like was more than I expected from that kind of movie, and I thought that it was handled well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have any complaints. I just thought it was fun.
Welcome to This Endorian Life, a Star Wars podcast from the Radio Meanwhile Network. My name is Steve Rudd.
I'm Nick Gunning, and we're following the Ewoks from Return of the Jedi to the Ewok TV movies, the 80s cartoon, and beyond.
And beyond. Today, we're discussing Season 2, Episode 9A, Prow. This episode originally aired on November 8th, 1986.
You might be thinking, wait a minute, last time you said you were going to be talking about the Season Scepter with Crystal Storm. Well, you know what? You're right, dear listener.
You would be right.
That was our plan today, but we sat down to record, and Crystal got called away, and we cannot talk about the Leaf Queen without Crystal. So we're
Yes.
swapping the order, and we're talking about Prow today.
Yes.
Today's episode was written by Bob Carew and directed by Dale Scott.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of a rarity in the Ewoks, whatever, canon. This is like almost feels like a lost episode because it's one of 3 episodes from the whole series that never got any kind of physical media release.
Oh, so never on VHS.
Never on VHS, wasn't
Oh,
included in
wow.
the DVD thing. So it's like it aired in 1986 and then just like sat dormant somewhere out there in the world until Disney Plus dropped it
On a
again
shelf,
on
man.
April 2021. So yeah,
The vault.
Just
It was in
kinda-
the Disney vault.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, it's just this, and we have one more that we're going to talk about in a few episodes here that was never released either. So kind of cool to
Yeah.
get to see it again after all that time.
Oh wait, it wouldn't have been in the Disney vault because it would have been in the Lucasfilm vault.
Pre-Disney vault. That's
Pre-Disney vault. Yeah. Okay.
right. Vault with
Yeah,
all
that's
copies
interesting.
of the holiday special.
I'm surprised because they're like, oh, I don't know. This one's just kind of a good episode. We should probably not waste it
Yeah, I don't know.
putting it on
I don't know if
VHS.
it was just a matter of like they just stopped doing them before they. I don't know. Things after this
Yeah,
are on
right?
are on home video. So who knows?
Weird.
Who knows why this one wasn't
Just a
selected?
loss. It is a loss. It's a misfit episode.
That's right. That's right. Our featured cast member today is Melanie Brown. So, okay. Melanie Brown was credited as voicing Queen Urga, but you know how they don't list what's what. And it seems to me like she was the Queen Urga voice in season 1. And I can't find any information that says who voices Queen Urga in this episode. So I'm going to guess that since Melanie Brown was part of season 1, it's probably not her in this episode, but she was the original voice of Queen Urga, and we haven't talked about her yet. And she's had kind of an interesting career here. So a lot of voice credits in other 80s shows. She did some voice work in Droids and things like that. She was on Strawberry Shortcake. She voiced Lime Chiffon in iterations of Strawberry Shortcake, but she also has like a music career, and she uses the name Mela Fresh and has like dance hits and things like that. So you can go find her. She has an active website. Like she's still going strong.
Wow.
And she was Queen Urga.
It's like Mace.
One. So Melanie Brown.
Mace has a singing career from Caravan of Courage.
The olden days.
That's great.
Yep. Congratulations on calling him Mace and not Sam, as you
I
did.
know. I actually had to think about it first, and I was like, his name's Sam, but I know it's not. I got to remember what it is.
Yep. All right, let's get Prow.
Yeah, right. Synopsis of Season 2, Episode 9A, Prow. The Ewoks are gearing up for the big fishing festival in Shadu has the Walklings working on a new fishing net. Tebow and Wicket ask Chief Chirpa if they can help with the festival and end up getting stuck cleaning the canoe. Meanwhile, Logray has a shiny new carving for the prow of the canoe. Cut to the Duloks, who are making their own preparations for the festival. They intend to bring havoc and destruction on the poor Ewoks. They test the strength of their battleship by destroying the nest of some harmless skibs. Back in the village, Wicket can't resist taking the canoe for a test drive. Tebow and Milani and Latara reluctantly join him. As expected, Wicket isn't the best with a canoe, and the gang smash into a rock, dumping them into the river. The canoe is fine, but the new prow sculpture is missing. They dive to find it, but decide it must have washed further downstream. We check in with the Duloks, only to find them stuck on a sandbar. Gornish and Urga aren't too happy, but Umwat cheers them up with what else? The Ewoks' missing sculpture. The Ewoks come upon the Duloks and attempt to retrieve the sculpture, but are instead captured. The resulting tussle ends with the Dulok ship sinking along with the sculpture. Back in the village, the Ewoks brace for Chief Chirpa's wrath and are surprised when instead he compliments their honesty and bravery in the face of the Duloks. Luckily, Logray has a second sculpture in stock. Roll credits.
They had some dark fantasies when they're at the end here, where they're waiting for Chief Chirpa to drop the hammer.
Yeah, all right.
They all sort of like envision what he's gonna do, and he's like throwing Latara like out into the woods. It's just like all the like snapping Tebow's staff.
Shooting squad. It was like a
Jeez.
slingshot shooting squad. I was like, bro.
Yeah,
and they even
wow.
said kill.
They did.
Like, they're gonna kill us.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, they're getting a little like it used to be Doom, right? Like,
yeah.
oh, if we don't find it, we're doomed,
gonna
you
straight
know.
up
And now
die.
they're just like
Yeah.
straight on to killing.
I guess
you know?
so.
Oh, jeez.
I guess so. Yeah, they don't have any scale of what's to come for them.
Just 100% now.
Nice to see the Duloks again. I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
we don't get very many Dulok episodes here in season 2, and I liked that their plan was just to go and like mess crap up for the Ewoks. You know, like that's pretty much the extent of it. So
and they actually had like a you know, usually their plans are kind of oafish, but this one was like that was legit. Like if they had managed to get their battleship to work and I guess all work together, they would have, you know, they would have definitely done some damage to the Ewoks.
Yeah.
But nope. Every time
it's true.
Something goes wrong.
It's true. And it's usually like with the Duloks, you know, like Gornish is showing off or he's like treating people poorly or whatever and things are crumbling around him.
Yeah.
Some weird animation moments in this. There's at one point, I think it's when they're all fighting and everything, and the Ewoks are like messing with their boat. Gornish is reacting and everything, but Urga is straight up stock still. She doesn't move. She doesn't blink.
Oh yeah,
it was so weird.
That was weird. Yeah, when the skibs latch on and like make it go super fast. Yeah, all of a sudden he falls back and she's like, huh?
Yeah,
and it's just, I did think that was weird too. I was just like, what is?
But it's like freeze frame. Like you have an
like
initial reaction, and it's like it's like they just forgot to animate that. So that was a quirky little moment. Moment that I thought there. We've been getting more. We were talking about this in the last episode, but more with the parents and stuff. Like we saw Shadow again, and like Chief Chirpa had a lot more dialogue and things to do. So I don't know. I still feel like the season 2 village seems to be like just the family, and that's it. Like you really don't see like anybody else. It's bizarre, you know.
It's true. We're not really getting the family aspect or the village aspect anymore. It's kind of just the gang.
Yeah, it's the gang and like whoever
and Logray's hut
person. Yeah, they happen to
pretty much that's it. Yeah,
but all of this was gearing up to like there's going to be this huge festival, and we didn't even get like a glimpse of the festival. You know,
nope,
even
not at all.
You can cheaply animate something that's like pulled back, and you just see like bodies bustling, but nothing. You don't get it. So
yeah.
I feel like that's something about season 2 that always bugs me when it happens. And this, I think, was particularly glaring because the Duloks' whole plan was like all the Ewoks are going to be together. Let's go and destroy them. And we just like never see that. And it feels very like, I don't know, like we never
empty,
see you know?
Any of it happen. We never see them try. No. We never even see the festival. We never, you know, like first season was all about that. Like we would have seen the festival. We would have seen runways and platforms and everything in the village. And now it's just they're like doing everything they can to avoid it. The village is basically like interludes after or like to begin after credits.
Yeah. Right.
Right, like if there were
Right.
advertisement on television and it would boom, you'd see like
Yeah.
a painting of the village, and then it would roll to them like on the ground or by the river, and you're like, wait a minute, what? Like
it's just added to the list of things that's a stark difference from season 1. But like,
yeah,
so much of season 1 was about like, you have to go and do this for the good of the village, and there's everybody there. But here,
yep,
it's just like, Wicket's got to get another dumb thing to put on his belt, and that's it.
yeah, it's so
You know,
dumb. Yeah,
kind of cute when they tried the they had the straws in their mouth and they were under like lily pads trying to get to
that was a good idea. There's ingenuity
decent,
again.
decent thoughts there. Yeah. I had a
Yeah,
fine time with this episode.
yeah.
Quick,
It wasn't
nothing much
serious. It
to
wasn't
it. Yeah.
complicated. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it gets points for having the Duloks back and
Yeah.
just kind of connecting it to the earlier days. So
Oh,
I like
Urga
that.
too is hurt. So every time we do see the Duloks, they are animated slightly and colorized well, everything's colorized slightly different.
Yeah.
But they seem to be they look way different. They're less lime colored and they're more like mucky green.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't. I don't know. Urga looks terrible.
She does, and
The
animation on the Duloks was also a lot worse. It would seem like there wasn't
yeah.
as many of it, so their movements were real like jerky and weird.
Mhm.
Probably because they have a million frames of moving Ewoks to use, and they don't have that for the Duloks. So
Yeah.
but I noticed that too. That I just felt like they looked weird. They looked a little goofy.
They look
So.
in the ones that were on the front of their battleship. They were two very different sizes, which is the first time we've kind of seen that. Every Dulok seems to be the same size.
Yeah.
They look like they almost looked like doggish.
It was there was
weird.
something really weird about the animation of the boat. I was confused when I realized that it was actually Duloks who were rowing because it looked like I don't know. It looked like the full size Duloks and then tiny little Duloks. It was weird perspective stuff happening. So
yeah, they had a little trouble. They had a little trouble when it would be pointed up to like the bow of the boat, and you didn't know they were moving because nothing in the sky was moving to give that perspective that they're traveling. So they were like, "What? Oh, we're gonna run into something," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even realize they were moving."
Yeah.
So
Weird stuff. What if anything was your Oak of Arc moment this time around?
For me, the Oak of Arc was the fact that the Ewoks actually helped them row. Like
right.
Like in the middle of the ocean, yeah, you're not gonna jump overboard.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna die.
Yeah.
But they're like on a river.
Yeah.
Just jump.
Just jump in
they're
the
not
river.
gonna get you.
Right.
I was like, just jump off. Just
Yeah.
jump off.
Yeah.
So that to me, I was just like, oh,
That's a good
really?
point.
They're actually helping.
Yeah, I get that.
So what about you?
I think just the resolution to me was really corny. Like, don't worry about it. Logray has an identical sculpture right here that you could just put on instead. It was like, well, then what was this all about? What?
I know. They also used the boat when they shouldn't have.
Right.
There's
right.
Like,
yeah, the only reason this happened was because they were only supposed to clean the boat and put it in the water, but instead they went for a joyride and lost everything and caused all these problems. But he's like, you know what? You were brave in the face of the problem that you caused, and the sculpture that was important was not important anymore because we have an identical one.
Because we have an identical one.
So I guess Logray just got that on Etsy. I guess probably just got a couple.
I guess must be. Yeah.
So I thought that was cheesy. Like it just
was pretty cheesy.
A weird resolution for that.
What about your Ichiwawa moment? What was the best for you? What do you think?
I always like it when they show that they're clever. So I thought like the lily pad thing was a good idea, and the fact that they're trying to like sneak and get to the boat and everything. It didn't work out, but I liked that. I liked that whole concept. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah,
because that's what the Ewoks to me always were. These like ingenue.
Yeah.
Ingenuity. What's the noun for that?
What is he?
Ingenious, right?
Ingenious, right? Yeah. Ingenuinous. Gingergenian.
They were these little ingenious guys,
wicked
just
smart.
So yeah. What about you though?
For me, it was that tiny little scene when that like moth was flying and the two toads the two toads spit out their tongues to try and catch it, and they actually catch each other's tongues.
Right.
The moth escapes, and then the two toads just when they
like
were when they
slamming.
retract their tongues, they just donk,
Yeah.
knock into each other, and fall into the water. I thought that was actually really funny.
Yeah,
Like
it was
I had to
funny.
rewind and watch that again because I was like, oh, that
I
was
like
really good. Like,
when they were diving for trying to find the sculpture and they kept pulling up like, no, that's a log, that's a
yeah,
stick or whatever. And one of them pulls up like a jellyfish kind of thing. But one
oh
pulls
yeah,
up
jelly
looks kind of like a
octopus.
conch shell, but then a like a tortoise type creature like sticks its arms
Yeah,
and legs out. I like that too. I thought
that was pretty good
that was
too.
pretty fun. I liked that. I like
Yeah,
that little guy. So, some
that's
good
right. That
good creature
I've
work.
almost I forgot about it. That was a good scene. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
clever. Like a log,
Yeah.
like a brick of mud.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is too, when they got out, that octopus jellyfish thing was still on Latara, and she
Yep.
had to like rip it off and
Yep.
toss it.
Yep.
That was good.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Pretty
funny.
funny
Yeah.
all around. I thought this was a fine episode. I think I'd kind of rank it
Yeah.
about where I did the last one, 3.5 or so,
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Oh man, that low? That seems
Oh, you're
low.
higher? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm like a 4. It's like a
A 4.
harmless episode. It's
Okay.
like it wasn't great, but it wasn't
I just
bad.
hate that resolution. I think that resolution
The
kinda ruined it
resolution
for
is
me,
lame. Yeah, I just that I agree that. Oh, you did what I told you not to do. Don't worry about it. Like that bothers me
Yeah,
when I'm
yeah.
just like, no,
Yeah.
because we went from season 1 where there were clear moral lessons to
Yeah, yeah.
learn, and now it's just like a free for all, man.
Yeah, it's
Like who
true.
gives a rip?
Especially, like, the adults. They act however they need them to act in that episode. Like, there's no
Yeah.
through line with, like, what those characters are and everything. So, yeah, that bothered me. But no, alright, you can be more generous than me, that's fine.
Hey, it's Christmas time.
That's true.
Tis the season to be more generous.
That
I'm gonna
is
be a little more
true.
generous
That is a
until
good
an
point.
episode completely disappoints me.
Right.
Then I'm gonna
Right.
destroy it. Yeah.
And on that note, next time
Mm.
it's Life Day, and in a Life Day miracle, we'll be back watching the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special with our old pal Jesse Riles.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
I'm actually
I'm glad.
excited about this one because we've watched
Yeah.
these in a different order. Like this was the first one that came out, and I remember
Oh,
liking
okay.
it. So I look forward to seeing this again.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I look forward to seeing it. I
I
don't know if
watched
I've
it.
seen it.
I
I may
only
have
watched
seen
it
it.
once. I watched it once when it first came out, and never again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it again. And I remember that Ewoks show up in it. So,
Okay.
so I know
Okay.
that we at least see Ewoks on screen, and I'm going to count that.
I will watch anything Star Wars Christmas
Okay.
except for the Christmas special.
Not that again. Not
Oh
that
man,
again.
it's so I can't.
I don't think that I had watched all the way through the original holiday special. So that's another thing that I'm kind of interested in going back and rewatching this Lego version because I know that there are homages to it, and I probabably missed them the first time. So we should keep an eye out for what's a callback.
All right, we'll have a
Lumpy
little. We'll have a little segment, a callback
right.
segment
A
of like,
pop-up
oh, that was
video.
it was from the original.
All right. Well, I'm actually looking forward to that episode. And
too.
after that, hopefully we can get Crystal back on because I know she's watched the episode and she's excited to talk about it. So the season scepter is coming, everyone.
It's coming.
Right.
And yeah, we're excited for Crystal to be on again.
Always exciting to talk to Crystal. All right, gang. We'll see you next time. Steve, so long.
Hey, have a good one. This Endorian Life was brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. Other shows on the network include 90s Music Got Me Like, previously on X-Men, and 9021 Here We Go! Share your thoughts on this and upcoming episodes by following us on Facebook or Twitter @Endorian Life, and please rate, subscribe, and share the show wherever you get your podcasts.